Welcome back. Pope Francis is simplifying the process for Catholics who want to annul their marriages. The changes are expected to speed up the process the Pope has previously called long and burdensome. It's all part of the Pope's push for the Catholic Church to be more welcoming. Let's get some more insight now from CNN religious commentator Father Edward Beck. He joins us from New York. Father Beck, thanks for being with us.
Hi, Linda.
Now, these changes essentially make marriage annulments easier, faster, cheaper. What's the Pope's plan?
The plan is that people shouldn't go through all kinds of contortions if there's a valid reason for the annulment. So what they're saying is it used to be 3 judges in a tribunal would hear the case. Then once they decided, they had to send it to another tribunal to get a second opinion. And then finally it would go to Rome and get approved. He's saying we don't need all of that. One judge, one tribunal is enough, and in some instances, just sending it to the bishop and the bishop approving it is enough. So it's going to expedite it, simplify it, and as you said, it will cost less. It will cost nothing.
And these, of course, come into effect in December as part of the Year of Mercy changes. Some have described these as radical, the most sweeping changes to annulment in 300 years. Would you say the pontiff is a radical pope?
Radical in the good sense, the root meaning, that's what radical means, root, getting back to the root, and this Pope certainly does that. He says it's about mercy, it's about compassion, it's about the church serving people, not the other way around. And so in some way, what he's trying to do is to say we exist for the sake of helping people relationship with God. And so he is radical in that sense because he's looking at the lens of mercy and compassion first and foremost.
And Father Beck, this is a little personal for the Pope. His sister, Maria, is divorced and has not remarried. He seems to have quite a handle on the modern world. Do you think we will see a rise in annulments as a result of these changes?
I think you might, especially people who've been on the fence, Linda. I mean, what an annulment says is that what was needed to validly contract the marriage at the time of the marriage was not there. So it's still not a divorce. The church doesn't believe in divorce. None of that has changed. What it says is that it wasn't there when you said, I do. What needed to exist. And so more people may say, well, you know, now that it is easier, I didn't really have a valid marriage, and I'd like that to be recognized so I can be a full member, participating member of the church. If I've remarried, I can receive communion. So this makes it easier for people to have full access to the church again if they have felt like they are on the fringe.
And this Year of Mercy seems to be a real turning point for the church, not just annulment, but also changes with how abortions are viewed and how the gay community is embraced. What can we expect from the Pope later this year when he arrives in Philadelphia for this Forum on Families?
Well, I think what you're going to begin to see is the Pope addressing issues that maybe previous popes haven't addressed as starkly as this one is. So he's going to speak first before Philadelphia to Congress, a joint session of Congress. He'll speak about immigration. He'll give a message some of them do not want to hear, but this hasn't stopped this Pope. And so I think what you'll see in Philadelphia as he speaks about the family is that we need to be an embracing church for all kinds of families. He has said you cannot deny baptism for a child just because it's a single mother. The child comes first. So I think what he's saying is look at real people's experience, what they deal with every day, and be a compassionate church. So he's going to speak about that kind of stuff in Philadelphia through the lens of maybe not all families are perfect. And so how do we deal with that in our situation rather than saying everybody has to meet all of the norms of the church?
Getting back to the basics of Christianity. Father Beck, as always, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Linda.